up, guys? Myron here, owner of White Glove Auto in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Here we got Mitch, he's my shop manager. Right behind us, you can see we have a Ford GT Heritage Edition. Now the first thing this customer wanted to do was protect the paint, right? It's a very complex paint job. You got orange and blue, black pinstripe. You have exposed carbon fiber all over the place. You can imagine it's a very expensive paint job if you had to repaint it due to rock chip. What you're about to witness, Mitch and I do, and my team, is install XPEL Ultimate Plus paint protection film over the entire vehicle, all the exterior painted surfaces. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the install.
I'm filling this to make sure that there's no contaminants left remaining on the coat here. Be sure that the clay mitt right here did its job and released any of those contaminants that were adhered to the clear coat. It's always a nice double check to confirm that you're being thorough and you got it all off. All right, we're gonna move on to the polishing phase. This is just a 3000 polish. It's a finishing polish. It's gonna remove any light swirl marks and whatnot that's in the clear coat and just ensure that the paint is clean and free of debris, and we're going to get good adherence from the product that we're going to be applying on it. It's going to be our XPEL Paint Protection film. Just about ready to go. Just got to get it wiped down with some alcohol, and then we'll be ready to install the paint protection film.
This is the templates that are going to be on this piece of film I'm about to put up on the billboard. That way I can see all the pieces that are on there, because sometimes it's hard to see when you kind of get lost whenever you're peeling it off, and oops, you peeled one off and now it's wasted. So I'm looking for like the edges of the film. That way I can actually like tear it away. So I'm basically weeding away all the excess material we're not going to use. PPF maintains its shape more whenever you're putting it on a car. You don't have to heat it. All you really have to do is just kind of stretch it, and it maintains its shape better. So it's easier to do that with this, and you can't really do that with vinyl.
Trying to get all these reference points in line before I get too carried away with Squeegee and down. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself without knowing where you're going. So it's a Fusion paddle squeegee, and yeah, I think it's a lot more user-friendly than a lot of the other squeegees that are out there on the market. If you're a vinyl person, you do vinyl installs, you'll really appreciate it because it's just like a hard card or a vinyl card. It's got the same shape to it. It feels good in your hand, but it's got two sides to it. It's got the yellow side's a 70 durometer and the black is 80 durometer. Of course, the durometer measures the hardness of the card. So depending on what contours and whatnot you're going over, or if it's a flat surface, then you might want to use the 80 durometer, the stiffer side, versus the yellow, which I'll be using on this rear quarter panel here. Has a little bit more flexibility to it going in these contours. Yeah, we got that perfect alignment right here over the hardware right here. Just cut out right here, drops right down where it's supposed to be. You got to have the stretch right, obviously, for that to work out, turn out well for you. Down really well. Now we're just going to work our way on down. Everything's stretched properly, so you're getting all this to lay down. You don't have a lot of excessive fingering and whatnot here around the wheel well, which is just what you want. It's all about having a sharp blade, holding it at the right angle, just doing all the right things. Once you hear that squeaky noise, that's what you want to listen for. Once you hear that, you know that you're doing it just right. If you don't hear it, then either you're not cutting deep enough at all, or you're cutting way too deep into the paint.
on this rocker panel piece here. We got multiple sheets cut out for this whole vehicle. Now I'm gonna look for my piece, which is right over here. It's kind of hard to see this stuff, only at the right light. This is installation gel from XPEL, which is the same brand as the film we're using. It's just application gel. It gives the film the ability to slide around on the panel and not freeze up, pre-tacked. We're squeegeeing it all out, and then it's going to bond to the vehicle, to the paint. In this case, the carbon for this piece that I'm putting on. Making sure everything's not lubricated or maybe having dirty fingers when you touch it. Because when you first peel it off, the film is dry, and any fingerprint you may have in it will cause it to leave there. Yeah, and that fingerprint will be a pain to take out if it comes out. Just getting all the areas that the film is going to touch. I'm going to get it all wet with this gel. Keep the contaminants off of it. And we're going to lay it right in. Now the piece is on there, it's going to be able to move around. Making sure the pattern got cut out the way it should be. Because I don't want this top edge to drop off the top of the carbon, I'm trying to make sure it's completely covered. So right there to the very top. Still good here. Just gonna get past that corner. My goal here is to lay this film right into that corner with no tension. The moment you lay this corner with tension, it's gonna wanna lift up over time. Make sure it's nice and loose and give it a nice, good, even pull. Right to that corner there. Hold down my thumb for a minute, make sure it sticks to the edge. It's important to lay that edge without any tension in it. So I'm actually going to squeegee that edge out first before I squeegee anything to the side of it.
Hey, what's up guys? So here's our update on the Ford GT. We've got roughly 20 man hours into this thing so far. It is currently 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. We're here late nights trying to get this thing done for this customer. He's really anxious to get this thing back on the road. So we're really trying to get this thing done for him. I'm hoping we get back to him by the end of the week. We're not even halfway done with this thing yet. We've only got the doors, the quarter panels, the quarter panel vents, the roof, the engine cover, and the headlights done. We still have the front end, the whole underside of the car to do, the interior to do. So we still have plenty to do. As you can see, Dan's working feverishly behind me still trying to get some of these edges cleaned up. Again, we've got a lot to do. As you can see, the floor is all wet, car is wet. That's just kind of the process of installing paint protection film. We use a gel and soap solution to help us position the film on the car, and it helps us basically get a perfect fitment. And then we also keep the floor wet, actually, so our feet don't kick up dust from the ground and get contamination underneath the film. That is our progress update for now. Continue watching. I hope you enjoy.
Another mistake is just overstretching this too much, stretching, and when you're stretching, pulling from here instead of from the middle. You don't want the actual edge of the film to have stretch on it. So the idea is when you are pulling from here to there, is you're pulling from the center and getting all the stretch out of the center. That's not an area that's going to fail like the front edge would. Here, intact solution is essentially just an alcohol mix, and that's going to help the corners stick down. In certain areas, you can see when I sprayed this, it turns white into that area. That whole lifted area there just is being a little stubborn right now. It doesn't want to stick, but the moment you spray tack and lay it down, the whole edge is flat. And that's that one piece. This gel stuff, when it sits on the surface for too long, it starts to become crusty. The goal here is just wipe it all off and minimize the amount of cleanup at the end. Just filtered water, that's all it is, just to clean it up.